Hey guys, it's Graham. What's crackin'? Let's talk about Speechify. This is an app that I first heard of probably late December, early January. Yeah, I want to say it was late December. Brandon Sanderson was talking about it in context of his massive Kickstarter that he did last year with the 4 books that nobody knew anything about, but still raised $47 million. He specifically wanted to brief the backers on the audiobook portion of it, and that was the level that I backed it at because #truckerlife. He didn't want to release them on Audible because Audible has bad contracts, even for traditionally published authors, and for indie authors, it's way worse. And so he was looking into Speechify. It's a service that one of his sons uses. One of his sons is dyslexic, and so it helps him read, which understandably is a huge part of the Sanderson household. And as he described what Speechify does, I was immediately fascinated because it's the kind of service that I've been looking for a while. So I signed up, I've used it for a couple of months, and I figured now's a good time for me to relate my experience to you guys and to anybody else who's interested, in case they're on the fence about whether to pay for this service and use it. So Speechify is a text-to-speech application that you can run on your desktop or your mobile device. Now you can use it to read pretty much anything. In fact, once you integrate it with your web browser, anywhere that there's text, you'll see a play button. And this works on social media apps, this works on, news websites, things with articles, anywhere. You click that and it'll read it to you. It does a very good job of distinguishing between a body of text and just, your typical like, comment, share type buttons. So it's very good in that regard. My primary use for it is audiobooks. I've been a digital audiobook listener since 2007, primarily on Audible because they're the biggest dog in the game. There's a reason for that. One, especially in the last decade plus, they've been mated to Amazon. Before that, they were an independent company, but like so many good little tech companies, Amazon bought them up and fused them into the Borg hive. But I also use my local library apps like Hoopla and Overdrive or Libby. Audible is where I go when something isn't available on those ones, or if I really want to support the author. But over the years, I've compiled a huge library of digital books, ebooks, Kindle books, that I don't really get around to reading. Often one will pop up that's interesting, that's on a Kindle giveaway, and I'll grab it and I'll try to read it on the app to support the author. But really, I don't like just holding my phone and flipping through it instead of, reading a physical book. It's something that even in the 15 years since Amazon launched the Kindle, I've never really come around to that. Even my wife, who was a big ebook reader for a while, has gotten back into the physical book thing. That's just the kind of people that we are. But I'm also an independent author, and I know how easy it is to publish books in the digital format, and how more people are willing to take a chance on an indie author in that much more affordable and accessible format. So I've been trying to find this middle ground of an app that can read my backlog of ebooks to me. So when Sanderson was talking about Speechify, it seemed like the perfect solution. Now they offer a monthly subscription option. It's around $7 or $8 a month. You can also pay for it all in a year up front. There was a discount when I was looking at it. It was about $70 for the year. I saved up for that. And then when I went to buy it, suddenly that option wasn't available and I had to pay for about twice that much to get the full year up front. I was a little bit annoyed by that, but I really wanted to try this service out and have something like it that worked. So I bit the bullet and I paid the $140. Since then, I have been mostly satisfied with the product. We'll say 75% satisfied. The few areas where I've been dissatisfied have at least been addressed, or I understand why they're in place. Let me explain. In most cases, when you want to listen to an audiobook, the file is fixed. It was a recording done by some narrator in a booth somewhere. They recorded it, the file is condensed down into a handful of megabytes, and then you download that parcel to your phone or to your device, and you play it off of that. And you get the same performance, the same recording every single time. But with Speechify, since it's converting text to speech in real time and using Wi-Fi or a data signal to do it, first of all, it eats a lot of data, it can drain your battery, and also you're not really getting the same quality of performance, we'll say. Now, don't get me wrong, they've got a huge suite of voices that you can select to play back any text that you're reading. Male, female, different nationalities. They've even got a couple of celebrity voices. Gwyneth Paltrow and Snoop Dogg are the two big ones. And there are other of the kind of canned catalog of voices that are very recognizable as being similar to other famous figures. There's one, for example, just called The President. It's 100% Barack Obama. All right, let's just be real. There's another one named Hank. He's got a little bit of a southern twang, southern drawl. Yeah, that's Matthew McConaughey, diet caffeine free, okay? So you've got a lot of cool voices to pick from. There's also the very basic, plain digital voice that's good in short bursts, but I wouldn't be able to listen into an entire book with that voice. It would drive me nuts listening to something so monophonic and robotic and soulless. There are beta voices, which are they're kind of harder to keep a connection to when you're playing. You've got to have a very strong cell connection. If you're in a concrete building or something, you're very likely to get lag. Which kind of brings me to my second point about the playback. When I'm playing off of a regular audiobook app, I can just turn it on, hit play, and turn the screen off. But again, since Speechify is a text-to-speech app, you've got to leave the screen on so that it can track through the text of whatever you're listening to. So I leave the screen on, I put it in my pocket, and once again, that drains the battery a lot faster than just listening to a regular audiobook. If I ever get a stint in between deliveries where it's going to take me 10, 20 minutes to drive to my next stop, I make sure that I plug it in, that I plug it in so that I can get the battery back up from 50 to 70% and keep listening to whatever I'm listening to during the day. If I need to navigate to where I'm going to my next stop, I've got to have the map app open. I pretty much have to listen to something else other than Speechify until I get there, because Speechify doesn't run as a background audio app. I assume that it will when it plays audiobooks, and there are audiobooks available through it, but right now that feature is only available on iPhone, and like a man of culture, I'm an Android user. I have been for 5 years. I switched off of the iPhone to come over here, and I'm on the waiting list for the audiobook feature to come active on Android, and I'm sure I'll have a follow-up video on that, because they've got a lot of famous and mainstream titles available in their audiobook library, and similar to Audible, you get 1 credit per month with your Speechify subscription, so you'd be able to download and play them like a traditional audiobook. But for now, I'm stuck with what I'm currently using it for, and that is plugging in ebooks and turning them into poor man's audiobooks along the way. Going back to the whole indie author thing, this makes it very useful for me because I like to read a lot of independent stuff. I'm also a contributor to upstreamreviews.com, which relies very heavily on either independently published authors or mid-listers or low-listers whose publishers haven't really committed the funds yet to getting them into the audiobook format, which completely understandable. You got to prove yourself before a publisher wants to go to that expense. We're not all Larry Correa out here. So I get it, but that doesn't change the reality that I have a lot of books that I don't have the time to sit down and read with everything else that I've got going on in my life. So Speechify scratches that itch for me. You can upload documents in a bunch of different formats. The two that are of interest to me are the .mobi or the .pdf format. Amazon ebooks come in their own proprietary format, the AZW format, and you can't upload those directly into Speechify. For that, I had to download a third-party service called Calibre. It's a free open source software, and you can convert any document into a different format, provided it doesn't have DRM enabled. That's digital rights management. Most ebooks don't have it enabled, but there are some that still do. And previous versions of Calibre have had a plugin that allows you to break DRM, but I guess that got them into some kind of trouble, and the current versions don't have that, and I haven't been able to find old versions, so any of the ebooks that I have with DRM enabled, I guess I've got to sit down and read those if I ever want to. So that's the boat that I'm in. But to date, I would say about 90% of the ebooks that I've had, waiting for me to read them, don't have DRM, and so I was able to convert them into the PDF format, plug them into Speechify, and now they're in my library just waiting for me to get to them. I've listened to probably a dozen of my ebooks this way to date in 2023. I first started in January, and there was a bit of a hiccup period as I was trying to figure out how to make this app work, learning that I couldn't just turn off the screen and put it in my pocket and be done with it. One of the other hiccups that I ran into, and I've hit it twice now, it's been very annoying both times. I am a premium user, I'm paid up for a year, yet every once in a while, if I've been listening to a lot of it, my chosen narrator voice, I just use John. I find it to be the most listenable voice, especially over long periods of time, will cut out, and the playback will revert to the robotic default voice, which I just can't stand. And I'll try to open up the screen and manually reset it to John, and it won't work, and I end up having to open a customer support ticket. Now, I will say that their customer support has been very good. They're good about responding and making sure that your issue has been solved. I do have an issue where if I open up the ticket on my phone and then they respond by sending me an email, and then I try to open up that email on my desktop and respond to that same ticket, the desktop and the mobile versions don't really sync up. So then I've got to go back into my mobile app and try to respond to it there, but it doesn't always work. So the people are good. The tech has some hiccups to roll out of it, to get out of its system. Now, the reason that aside from the fact that I paid for it up front, but the reason that I want to keep investing in this is that a service like this needs funds coming into it in order for it to improve. And I believe in the basic concept of it, and so far I'm satisfied enough with the execution that I believe that it will continue to improve over time, and so I want to keep investing in it. It makes it very easy for me as a reader to get to books that I otherwise don't have time to do. To date, I have read 70 books in 2023, and we are only halfway through May. And of those 70, only 6 have been in print. I mean, that is the nature of the life that I live, and I wouldn't get as much reading done if I didn't have audiobooks. And Speechify opens up a whole new side of my catalog for me and allows me to get to stuff a lot faster, a lot sooner. There are some other issues and observations that I've made in the time that I've used it, and I've thought, just how much of a video do I want to do about this? How much do I want to introduce people to? I'll probably do a follow-up, especially if any of you guys have questions about it. I'm going to get on the Twitters and let Speechify know that, hey, I did this. If you guys want to see some detailed feedback from a guy who is using this very heavily and maybe even using it in a way that it wasn't really intended to do. Like I said, I have a feeling that this was meant for people who were sitting at a desk or on their couch reading along as it's playing back to them, as opposed to somebody using it to make poor man's ebooks or audiobooks. But I have a feeling that this information is going to be valuable to them, and hopefully it gets to the ears of the engineers and they configure some workarounds for the issues that I've brought up. But so far, I'm satisfied with the service, and I want it to keep getting better, keep evolving, and hopefully it'll get you guys to buy into it as well, and pick up some ebooks and skim through them this way. So that's it for now. I'm going to head into work because this is my life. You guys all know the drill. Drive safe. See you out there.